Back in June of 2020, if you are or were a TikTok watcher, you may have come across a video of a group of teenagers discovering a suitcase on the beautiful coast of Washington State near Alki Beach. This particular TikTok video immediately went viral. It consisted of suspenseful music, commentary from teenagers, and the real-life video of what happened when they discovered the actual contents of a suitcase they found on the rocky waters of the 1000 block of Alki Avenue in Seattle, Washington. Welcome back for another episode of True Crimes and Mysteries with Ricochet Rhaynes. In this episode, I'll be delving into TikTok, Randonautica, and the death of Jessica Lewis and Austin Wenner. Buckle up, y'all. This is an interesting story with twists and turns. Okay, so let's dig into the details of this weird story. Back on June 20th of 2020, a TikTok video went viral. Now, as you know, most TikTok videos are a good source of entertainment, and sometimes the content is faked. But in this particular video, there was something very strange. The teenagers recording the video had found a suitcase that they thought was odd. They also said that the suitcase was emitting a foul odor, possibly from old food. So before I get ahead of myself here, there's an app for cell phones called Randonautica. It's a mobile app that uses what is called a quantum random number generator, which gives you a set of coordinates in your local area. The idea is to encourage users to go out and explore. Making a few selections within the app and influencing the generator by your thoughts, you could be on your way to finding something as simple as an area that is photo-worthy or something more complex, like an answer to a question you've been wondering about. The concept of Randonautica is to think about what you are looking for. Choose your settings within the app, and it will lead you to a randomly generated GPS coordinate. It's also suggested you record your adventures. If you watched any of the Randonautica adventures, you'll notice a majority of them are at night. It's a lot creepier that way, and as in most cases, keeps the viewers watching and wanting more.
So I just went randonauting. I just went randonauting, and our intention was death. And we were on our way to the spot, and I look out my window, and there's someone laying in the gutter with their wife literally on them, holding them. And so I parked and got out, and he got shot. And then she gave me the phone, and I had to call the cops. And Darius he wrapped his jacket around the wound. And then the cops came, and we got questioned, and I said to leave. And I just dropped Darius off.
Entertainment is a weird thing these days, but here we are. In my personal opinion, when it comes to Randonautica, a person's thoughts in no way can influence random generated numbers, aka GPS coordinates. Moving forward. On June 19th of 2020, a few teenagers took to using Randonautica and were given coordinates that led them to the 1000 block of Alki Avenue, southwest in Seattle, Washington. They seemed to be extremely excited to visit the area and then discovered on the rocky waterway a suitcase. Was this part of the plan? Were these the coordinates Randonautica had in mind the whole time? No one knows. The video goes on with the teenagers laughing and finding the suitcase. The teenagers who spotted the suitcase lying on the beach rocks filmed the discovery with intentions of uploading their Randonautica find on TikTok. Initially, they joked that it may contain cash. One of the teenagers grabbed a stick to open the suitcase. There was no mistaking the odor that came from the suitcase, smelling like old food or something decaying. They were able to open it a bit further and discover some gray garbage bags packed in the suitcase. After looking further, they believed they had discovered a dead body. Was this fake? No, it wasn't fake. And the looks on their faces were that of surprise and horror. The teenagers backed away from the suitcase and immediately contacted the police to advise them of what they had found. Unfortunately, since the teenagers didn't mention what they thought was in the suitcase, it took the police a few hours to show up while the teenagers waited.
We want to begin with some breaking news. Seattle police are investigating after several bags filled with human remains were found near the water on Alki Avenue this afternoon. Want to show you a look here at what's happening there. Police say they had received a call about a suspicious bag. They found more once arriving on the scene. You can see police out there right now. Harbor Patrol also helping out, and the King County Medical Examiner's Office has been called in.
Upon the arrival of the Seattle police, they confirmed the suitcase did indeed contain human remains. The video was uploaded the following day by TikTok user Ugg Henry, who titled the video, "Something Traumatic Happened That Changed My Life." As this was a traumatic incident, Ugg Henry said he broke down the moment he got home after finding the suitcase had contained human remains. More bags in a suitcase were found after the initial suitcase was discovered by the teenagers. The remains were taken into the King County Medical Examiner to identify their bodies and their cause of death. According to the medical examiner, the persons inside the suitcase were that of Jessica Lewis, 35 years old, and longtime boyfriend Austin Cash Wenner, 27 years old. The medical examiner also said both had died on June 16, 2020, from gunshot wounds, Jessica being shot multiple times and Austin, who sustained one gunshot to the torso. After killing them, the murderer dismembered their bodies and put them in the suitcase. Let's rewind to the life of Jessica and Austin. Jessica and Austin shared a loving life together for about 8 years. Both were said to be inseparable. Jessica was a good-hearted woman, described as a ray of sunshine, very caring and loving. She was also a mother of 4 children. She worked at an assisted living facility for adults with disabilities. Now, in my eyes, that's an admirable way to give back to her community and shows how caring she actually was. Austin was described as a faithful person who loved music, dogs, the outdoors, camping, and trucks. People who knew Jessica and Austin said they were fun-loving and very friendly. So, what could cause such a horrific event and the senseless loss of life? Jessica and Austin lived in a home that was owned by Michael Lee Dudley. The 3 lived in the home together, as Jennifer and Austin were renting a room. According to Dudley, the couple struggled to pay their rent of $1,500 a month. Dudley also said the couple was stealing from him and had locked him out of the house on numerous occasions. On June 9th, 2020, an argument erupted in the home, where Michael claimed he told Jessica and Austin that they needed to move out since they were not able to pay the rent. That night, neighbors reportedly heard a man yelling,
"Please, don't do this. Just let me leave."
And then gunshots were fired. According to police records, Burien police officers were dispatched to the home after they received the 911 call. After they arrived at approximately 7:15 p.m., they left the residence when no one answered the door. What the hell? Isn't extenuating circumstances such as gunshots being heard and pleas from a person within a house enough cause to enter a home with or without the consent of the residents? I know laws can be a hindrance for things like this, but when there is a presumption of an illegal activity or possible injury to a person, isn't that enough reason to enter a home without making contact with the resident? I'm not a police officer, nor am I an attorney or judge. But come on, people, where did common sense go? Did it just go out the window? Anyway, on August 19, 2020, detectives secured a warrant to search the home where Jessica and Austin were living with Michael Dudley. While searching the house, detectives found bullet holes, bullet strikes, spent rounds, and blood in the blue room where Jessica and Austin were staying. While searching the home, neighbors spoke with the detectives and advised them they had called 911 and reported an argument and gunshots on June 9th, 2020. Dudley was arrested that same day and booked into the King County Jail in connection to the murder of Jessica Lewis and Austin Wenner. On August 24th, Michael Lee Dudley was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Unbelievably, bail was set for Dudley. But wait, fortunately, his bail was set at $5 million. It should be noted, according to the medical examiner and police, there is a high probability, and it's their belief, that Michael Dudley may have had an accomplice to remove the remains of Jessica and Austin from the home. When it comes to Michael Dudley, he is known to have a shady past, is extremely smart, well connected in social circles, and has an intense personality. Marlise Gordon, an ex of Michael Dudley, says she was in a relationship with him between 2002 and 2016. This was an off and on type of relationship. She described her relationship as volatile. Gordon also said the arrest of Michael Dudley brought up some very bad memories.
Tonight, King 5's Britt Moore spoke exclusively with a woman who says she knows just how violent Dudley could be.
I still can't comprehend that he would even be capable of doing this. That is beyond me.
Marlise Gordon says she was in a relationship with Michael Dudley on and off between 2002 and 2016.
I was shocked at what he did to me and can still see the evil in his face that I had never seen before.
Dudley was arrested and booked into King County Jail on Wednesday in connection to the murder of 36-year-old Jessica Lewis and 27-year-old Austin Wenner, whose remains were found in bags along Alki Beach. Gordon says the news brings up tough memories.
She started to hit me and grab my hair and grab my head and my hair, and he threw me on the floor and hit my head into the hardwood floor, and then he was throwing me around and threw me and my stuff out on his patio, out the door and on his patio, and then came out and hit my head into the patio. And did that with one hand, and he was holding a gun in his other hand.
An incident in 2016 where Dudley was arrested and charged with assault.
My heart goes out to the families hugely.
Now processing what's happened, she says she's lucky she made it out.
You know, they always say that about somebody, that, you don't expect them because, this doesn't seem like something they would do, but now I'm the one saying that.
Britt Moore, King 5 News.
So what do you think? Are you glad that Randonautica exists and that the teenager uploaded the video to TikTok? After all, without the 2 teenagers who used Randonautica and TikTok, the deaths of Jessica and Austin may not have been solved as quickly as it was. I want to thank you for watching another episode of True Crimes and Mysteries with Ricochet Rhaynes. As always, take care of yourself and hold tight to the ones you love.